Hey guys, welcome back. So, Traxxas releases a TRX6. So 6x6. What a disappointment. And what a rip-off for the price. This thing sells for $809 Canadian at Great Hobbies. Now Great Hobbies is probably one of the biggest and best hobby shops around in Canada as far as I'm concerned. And they want $809 for it in Canada. So I don't know what that's going to be in US dollars. Actually, let's find out. 809, whoops, 809.99 CND to USD. So we're looking at $612 in the States. That's American money. Still a ripoff. Why? Well, generic tires, no more licensed tires. You do get beadlocks, which is kind of cool. Don't know if they're plastic or alloy. Probably plastic. It's looking like plastic anyway. Now, it does come with a full lighting kit. It has got locking and unlocking diffs. Looks to be all throughout. It looks like they're using one servo to control both rear axles. Of course, you got your 2-speed transmission. You've got that very, very bad 2075X metal geared 9 kilogram servo that, by the way, even I got jammed up with. Wasn't amused when that happened. So I went to a 25 and now I can rip through anything and not think about it. You know, the thing is, as soon as you go past the 9 kilogram servo, you must go to at least a 5 to 7 amp BEC. Even a 3 amp BEC was not enough to handle my 25 kilogram servo. So I had to go with a 7 amp BEC. Now, full lighting kit in this thing. There's some power suckage for you. And of course all the servos. 21 turn Titan now has to work extra hard to move all this beast. Where it worked hard enough as it was just to run the 4 wheels. The body is completely cheaped out on this thing. Like on the TRX4 Tactical and a few other TRX4s that have all the locking, unlocking stuff and cruise control, right? Okay, we have better quality fenders. By far. I mean, they're not molded into the body like this. They're not cheap and crappy. This is cheap and crappy. That's like, okay. Although the detail looks nice, okay. So many shortcomings. At least they got clear glass, which is kind of cool. That's kind of a nice plus. They didn't leave you anything for putting in any of your own lighting kits. I mean, they've lit this thing right up to the 9s. You know, like marker lights and everything. So that part's kind of nice, I guess, to a certain point, but doesn't leave much room for your own modifications on the body for lighting. Now, here we go, under the hood. 9 kilogram servo. Barf. I guess you would, if you wanted to put a winch in, you're going to have to be real creative and mount it here somehow, which means you won't be moving the servo for up front. I've moved mine up front actually. This is your crappy bumper underneath, so it's kind of the body shell kind of hides this, okay? You have no way of putting a winch on this bumper, okay? None. So you're going to have to mount a winch here, which means your winch is going to be hidden, which means you're going to have to figure out some kind of a way to make sure you can get the angle of the cable down through and fish it somewhere, I guess, so that it still operates, which is going to be kind of tough unless your string can move back and forth, or your cable can move back and forth as it winds. This could be an issue for putting winches in. Now I have an RC4W drive massive winch. Oh my goodness, 50-pound deadlift on that sucker and 70-pound drag. What a winch. Love it. But yeah, 21 turn Titan motor still, so we still have a lousy motor that's going to get cooked because of all the extra stuff it's got to turn now and deal with. Extra weight in the truck now on top of all of that for that 21 turn motor to work, and that's going to burn up motors. Now mine came with a 21 turn motor as well on my TRX4 Tactical, and you know, the motor is efficient to a certain point, but to other points not so much. I actually had to go to, I believe it was a 45 turn I put in it, and I actually, I really liked the motor I chose for it. Even no, it was a 35. My mistake. It was a 35 I think I put in my TRX4. I've been doing so many mods on RCs lately, it's crazy. You have, of course, your 4-channel transmitter because of your locking, unlocking diffs, and cruise control. Cruise control is awesome. I love the cruise control feature. I mean, Traxxas did come up with some nice things in the TRX4s, but with this flipping thing here, I mean, the body, like if you look here, this is an under view. You've got kind of a cheesy bumper here. You've got a skid plate, front and rear. You got a cheesy bumper underneath here, and so you've got your shell, okay? And it's a very chintzy shell. And now, of course, look, we went from a nicely sealed system to this open system. Now all the crud's getting inside and the muck and everything. It looks absolutely dumb. They really screwed this up. They could have done it just as well as they did with the Tactical and I believe the Bronco and a few others. But they didn't. They screwed it up, you know. I mean, they still got the nice C-rail chassis, which is kind of cool, you know. They still kept that going. And of course, it's extended now because of the 6x6 part. They've got some neat little exhaust coming through here, you know. So that's kind of cute. It looks like it's metal caps over plastic sliders. So that's not too bad. Heavy duty steel links, well, we got that on the other ones too. I think they're really reaching here. They're stretching for some popularity, kids, because the Red Cat Gen 8 is kicking the TRX4's butt. I have the TRX4 Tactical and I have the Red Cat Gen 8. You can check them both out on my channel. And I gotta tell you, those Super Swamper tires on that Red Cat are really awesome. Not to mention the rest of the truck is awesome too. And it came stock with a 15 kilogram metal geared servo that's waterproof. Traxxas is still only providing you a 9 kilogram servo, same as the TRX4s. And you know, same as the UDR. I was actually looking at buying. I almost bought a UDR until I found about A, the crappy back, and B, the fact that it had a 9 kilogram servo that seems to be getting cooked left, right, and center, because it definitely has no power to move that heavy, big beast. You know, I don't know what Traxxas has been thinking lately, but some of their employees that are designing this stuff need their butts fired. You know, they're going to cause more problems than what it's worth. Anyways, moving on. Here's our underside. This is what we get on the underside here. Okay. Now this looks like metal. It could be plastic. I don't know. I'd have to see one up close, but judging from the little phrase on the side here, this could very well just be plastic for skid plates. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like the drive line and stuff that they've done in here. They got really creative. You know, and all 4-link back in here. They got 3-link with a panhard up front. I mean, there are some nice things here, but the body loses it for me. You're not putting a winch on that thing. And we know as crawlers and trail truckers, we have to have a winch. Where are we going to stick a winch on this darn thing? Or how are we going to put the winch in that it still looks good without chopping into the front nose of the body? Because, you know, winches generally have to come out the front. You're not going to stick it out the holes out front here, because your winch has to go back and forth along the spool, right? I mean, there's probably a lot of room under the hood to mount a winch, which would be great, but you're not going to get a heavy-duty enough winch under there. Like the Xeon winch might be good, you know, from RC4W Drive, because it's got twin motors and a lot more torque than a single motor winch does. Other than the exception, of course, of their heavy-duty winch, which I happen to have on my TRX4, and it's a beast, too. And it's a power sucker. I actually have to run it off of its own battery, and I had to buy the RC4W Drive wireless winch control kit for it, because none of the Chinese ones survived. The winches draw so much amperage, it cooked like 3 or 4 of my Chinese winch controllers. So that winch really draws the power. So you got to buy the RC4W Drive one. But here, what are you doing? You're not buying a winch. You're not putting a winch on this. there's no way to actually really put one on and still keep the body and everything else, right? ESC specs confirmed 1 amp Beck in this sucker. 18 amp continuous, braking current is 60 amps, peak reverse and forward are both at 100 amps. 2-stage indicator, switchable on or off for LVD or NIM use. Thermal shutdown protection, that's only going to kick in so many times too before it goes poof. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. It's got a full lighting kit, which is kind of cool. You know, that's kind of nice they did that. The wheels and tires are 2.2 bead locks. The trails are what the tires are what they call unique 2.2 all-terrain tires with trail-tuned foam inserts. Now, what the hell does unique mean? It means no name, guys. It means they put they probably farmed out their tires to China to make them a set of tires for nothing, almost, so they could put some cheap, junky tires on. Which, hey, we all know ready-to-run tires are never the best as it is. However, Red Cat stepped up the game big, and they put licensed TSL Super Swampers on their Red Cat Gen 8. Anyways, moving on. You do have the cruise control, which is nice. I love the cruise control on mine, you know. GTS aluminum shocks all the way around, of course. So what have we got here? We got an $809 truck in Canada that has a crappy, cheap body. Licensed or not, it's cheap and crappy, and nothing gets sealed in. All the crap gets to fly inside everything now. Where on our other ones, with the exception of the Sport, of course, the other ones are all nicely sealed in. We had Canyon tires on the other ones. This is just like no-name tires. You know, they're really pushing it. I mean, sure, this is realistic looking on the outside, but look how cheap the fender wells are. They're just molded as part of the Lexan. It's cheap, it's chintzy. A couple of rolls the wrong way and snap, crackle, pop, shred, and there goes your body. And you know, the body is expensive enough on my TRX4 Tactical. Can you imagine what it's going to cost for a replacement body on this sucker? I don't even want to think about that. That's going to be insane. Now, Great Hobbies does actually carry this truck. That's how I found out $809 in Canada. And of course, we get free shipping from Great Hobbies too, which is nice. So, a Sport is $459 in Canada. The Traxxas TRX, which has the tracks with it, $769. Of course, for $250 you can buy the tracks separate for any of your TRX4s. You know, $619 for your Broncos. Defender body, $619. The crawler with LE orange. Now this is kind of nice too. It's $669. There's my Tactical. I paid $569 for my Tactical. I love the Tactical. It's a great truck. And here's our Mercedes 6x6. $809. They even have a partial, they don't even have a parts list up yet for it. I mean, it looks good. It does look good, but it's only worth maybe 600 Canadian, maybe 650 tops in Canada, in my opinion. You know, because of what you're not getting, and because of all the crap that you are getting that you got to ditch now to make things work right. You know, I've heard of guys burning up Becks, even with the stock servo, because they get jammed up and it overdraws the system and surges it, and there goes your Beck. And now you need a new ESC at that point. Or you just disconnect the Beck and hopefully the rest of it did survive, and then you can put an external Beck on. By the way, speaking of Becks, I would not suggest going with anything below a 7 amp Beck if you can help it. In fact, I tried a 3 amp Beck, and the 3 amp does not work worth a beans on a 15 or 25 kilogram servo in the TRX4. It looks nice. 6x6s have been around for quite a while already. I'm surprised Traxxas didn't get into that a lot sooner. But they certainly came to a bust on the body. Looks nice, but very cheaped out. No way to mount a proper winch. And it's going to be a real pain in the neck to try and do something third party and different for a winch if you want winch. Like I said, trail truck crawler guys, we all want and require our winches. And now we got no way to put one on here properly. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me what your opinion is of this thing. I mean, if it came in at $650 Canadian, I could see it. But not at $809. They're not getting my money at $809. Not a chance. And we know Traxxas isn't going to lower their price. They never do. They don't care. They rely on their name. Red Cat, I mean the Scout, that's like already 20 times the truck of the TRX Sport. It's a very good contender even against my Tactical, even though this thing has no cruise control and it doesn't have locking and unlocking discs. It does not have a 2-speed tranny, but what it does have with it and what it can do out of the box and the hardware it comes with is amazing truck for the money. And I paid like far less. Like this was $400. I paid $569 for my Tactical. And don't get me wrong, I love my Tactical too, and I think $569 was kind of pushing it, but I'm okay with it. And I've been modding the hell out of the thing too. Anyways, and as a little update for any of you who have been keeping an eye on my channel lately, remember I busted my rear bumper, the RC 4W drive one? I haven't even bothered with them. I'm going to just wait until I can get my hands on a lathe, make the parts I need. I'll fix that bumper, but in the meantime, we did order the GPM racing bumper today from Banggood. And we actually saved about $6 on the price, which was kind of nice too. And it's built like way better than the RC 4W drive one. Like, I am not going to break that bumper, you know. So anyways, just a little update on that one for you while you're watching this video. But yeah, I can't believe what we're getting here and not getting. I thought Traxxas would have stepped up the game more. I mean, if you look at the Sport, okay, you can mount a winch even on this stock bumper. Even on the TRX4 stock bumper, I've had a winch on there. You know, the Trax, you can mount. It's got a bumper on it. I mean, the Mercedes, I guess they wanted to kind of stick with some realism, kind of like they did with the Blazer. But even the Blazer, it wouldn't be that bad to get a winch in here. You know, I mean, I don't think it would be anyways. Let's take a look. It shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad to get a winch in there, you know. But it's going to be a hard one to do on that Mercedes shell. You know, I'd be a little concerned that way. But, you know, and you see how these are sealed, eh? Like, that's all sealed in nice. The Mercedes, it's not. It's all open to crap getting in there. You know. There we go. See, all that's wide open. And it's not wide open on the other ones. Why didn't they do it right like they did on the other ones? Somebody really screwed that design up. That's a massive flaw and then some. But we get what we get, right? So hope you guys enjoyed this overview video. Like I said, Traxxas is not getting my money on this machine. You know, not a chance. So, anyways, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more cool videos coming to my channel, especially RC stuff for my RC fans, and music for the music fans, and so on and so forth. So, catch you later. Have a good one, guys.